All guests on ZASLOW Show 2.0 brought to us by the official beer of the program. You know, we're talking Johnny, Cuba, European roots, a Caribbean soul, a refreshing German lager in a can. You pick up a six-pack of Johnny Cuba. You go to johnnycuba.us. Find the nearest location to you. Make sure you always drink responsibly. And, of course, don't forget Johnny Cuba's mantra, stay tranquilo. All right, so you guys know I've been all over the Hulk Hogan story the last couple days, be it on ESPN Radio, be it on Levitard Show, and certainly here on ZASLOW Show 2.0. Very polarizing, man. Very polarizing, reaction to his death. David Dennis Jr., who's our pal, of course. You see him on ESPN. You hear him on ESPN Radio. You read him on Anscape. He's a lot smarter than me. He's a pro wrestling fan, so he's a good person to have on and talk to about this. David, before we get to the Hogan stuff, I want to ask you some fun stuff here. Have you seen yet, or are you even interested in the new Happy Gilmore movie?
I've not seen it yet. I have not seen it yet. I did see Fantastic Four last night. That was my movie of the night. So Happy Gilmore is coming. I want to see it for sure.
Okay, so Happy Gilmore is on the list. That's great. Yeah. I saw Happy Gilmore last night. I loved it.
Okay,
I thought it was,
right.
I mean, the first 30 minutes of the movie, I'm laughing at every line.
And Adam Sandler is a celebrity in the ZASLOW mansion, right? So this
is very accurate. That is a good memory on your part. My wife's favorite is Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
So we see all of his movies. Adam Sandler is number one in the hall pass. All right, for my wife.
I don't want to say it, but yes, I remember. I know that there was some intimate love of Adam Sandler.
Her hall pass list. All right, number one, it's Adam Sandler. Number two, it's Dave Matthews. Number three, it's Omar Epps. That's her hall pass list.
All right. So if number three is Omar Epps, does that mean Mike Tomlin is number four?
Yeah, she likes. Okay, yeah, well, I think she thinks they're the same person.
Yes.
Like,
okay.
Likes Mike Tomlin too. Yes, loves Omar Epps. So yes, we're an Adam Sandler household. We love Adam Sandler. The movie's great. You'll like it. I saw Fantastic Four Thursday night. Did you like it?
Loved it. Thought it was great. We're back, baby. Marvel Universe, Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're back. It's been a road on the last couple of years, but I think this got us on track.
I liked how they didn't bother with the origin story.
Yeah.
We know the origin.
Yeah.
It's year 2025. We don't need to waste time with the origin story. And I liked how, what I also liked about how Ben Grimm, the Thing, the previous Fantastic Four movies, which, are not good, especially the last one with Miles Teller. What a piece of shit. But the previous, characters of Ben Grimm, when he turns into Thing, it's like all woe is me. It sucks. I hate being Thing. I liked that this version of Thing is like, I got my family. We're good. Yeah. I'm living a good life. I liked that.
I can grow a beard. He can grow a beard, which is something that I can't do. Right? So like that's, he embraced it. He liked it.
Who was the star of the Fantastic Four for you?
I think Sue Richards, Invisible Woman. I think she, they made her, usually she moves like a Toyota and then passes out. I think this was like a high-powered Sue Richards. I think that she was the one.
I thought she was far and away the star of the movie.
Yeah.
So, like, easily. I thought she was really, really great. It's a fun movie. And, of course, for folks, sometimes I like being able to tell people without spoilers, David. Like, I don't know. Did you see Superman?
Yeah, saw Superman as well. Mina Kimes and I have a pod, viewer discretion. We've been talking Love Island the whole time, but we did a Superman episode. So
okay, good. Well, so like, first of all, I loved Superman.
Yeah.
It's my favorite superhero movie now.
Loved
it. I'm not saying it's the best superhero movie.
Yeah.
I'm saying I enjoyed it the most. It is my favorite. I loved it. But I like telling people, the post credits, we all stick around. You don't need to stay an extra 25 minutes and wait for the post credits. So I do like to say, without spoilers for Fantastic Four, you stay for the post credits.
Can I do a hot take?
Yeah.
I think the post credits era should probably end. I just think we should. I don't like it anymore.
You like what Superman did? How they actually had the post credits like in the movie?
Yeah. Do it in the movie. Like say directed by whoever. Give me the post credits and then let me go home. I don't need to stay. I'm not reading the credits. I don't need to stay. I think it was great for a time. Give me the post credits in the movie. Don't need it.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, so let's get to the more serious stuff here. David wrote a piece at Anscape. He's a senior writer for Anscape, and he wrote a piece about Hulk Hogan, and the legacy he leaves behind. And so here's where I want to start. There's this like narrative about how it's complicated to talk about Hulk Hogan. He leaves a complicated legacy. And I've been saying for the last couple of days, I don't think it's complicated at all.
Nope.
Like I did this on ESPN radio. I did it on Levitard's show yesterday. And I'm pushing back against anyone who thinks it's complicated, because here's the thing. I'm a huge pro wrestling fan. You're a huge pro wrestling fan. I loved Hulk Hogan as a kid. Oh my God, he was my hero. I loved him as a child of the 80s. And I could talk about him and say how much he meant to me and how important he was, how much joy he gave me growing up in the 80s. And then I also pivot to, he said some really shitty things about black people. And the thing that makes it even worse is the reason he got booed out the building in his last ever WWE television appearance was because he never really even tried to make amends and tried to show any kind of remorse for the things that he said that were especially hurtful to black people and black wrestling fans. Like, what's complicated about anything I just said, David?
I think people want to say complicated because they didn't want to say the truth, right? I think like there's this world where when people die, we feel like we have to honor them in a certain specific way. And that's not necessarily the case. Like there are plenty of people when they die, I will not feel the need to, force a way to eulogize them. Right. And Hulk Hogan is no different. And the question that's come up is, do you define people by their lowest moment? Right. And is that all we take away from them by their lowest moment? No, that's not. I think you define people by how they recover from their lowest moment. And what Hulk Hogan never did was recover from his lowest moment. He never did anything to rectify what he said. Like, there is a world in which these tapes come out and Hulk Hogan makes these abhorrent statements, and he spends the next 10 years of his life, the last 10 years of his life, trying to right his wrongs, trying to fix it. What we know from WWE superstars themselves who were present, who I spoke to, who other people have spoken to, when he went in that locker room, there was no real apology when he looked those black wrestlers in the eye, right? And what most people have indicated, when Hulk Hogan came up to them and talked about a quote-unquote apology, it was about how he's being killed online, how people look at him. There was no real remorse to what he said, no real way to make it better. And I think that is why you can look at some guy like him and say, all right, you are a racist. He is a self-admitted racist. That's what he said in those tapes, and has not done anything to make it, to try to turn over a new leaf before he passed. And that is who you are. Like, I am of the belief that racism is your defining characteristic, right? Like, I don't care, like, you cannot be a genius and be a racist. You cannot be a good person and be a racist. We can go all through history. I don't care what you invented. I don't care what your contribution to society is. That is number one, right? And Hulk Hogan falls under that list because he never did anything to show that he was a different person than the guy that was on those tapes.
That's the part that's frustrating for me as a fan, where, and I talked about this yesterday on Levitard's show, where it's not as if what he said was this unforgivable thing. And what I mean by that is, if you murder someone, unforgivable. Doesn't matter what happens after that. If you rape someone, doesn't matter what happens after that. Right. It's unforgivable. But if he says the things he said about black people, and then he reforms and realizes what he said was wrong and terrible and becomes a better person for it, I think it's forgivable. And he never even decided to even fake it.
Yeah, never. He didn't even, like I said, he never went through the standard PR to make it complicated, right? There's no pictures of Hulk Hogan reading children's books in a little inner city school. Like, he didn't even do the base things that some of us would roll our eyes. And because when you do these things, you are well within your right to never forgive somebody for any of that stuff, right? And you're well within your right to forgive somebody for that, right? And I think people wanted to forgive Hulk Hogan. People want to love Hulk Hogan. People don't want to go around booing this dude. They want to remember the guy from the 80s, the guy who was in the NWO. Like, people want to remember that stuff. I think even the union busting stuff, the lying stuff, like the putting himself over and all those things. Like those are things that make his legacy complicated, right? That's what makes it complicated, right?
That's a good point.
Like when you do that, okay, Hulk Hogan has a complicated legacy. But when you do these other things and you don't do a single thing to make it better, it ain't complicated, right? And it's so hurt because you think about the people that we forgive because we want to forgive them. And we wanted to forgive Hulk Hogan. We wanted to look at Hulk Hogan and say, like, I didn't want to be writing about this when he died. I wanted to be in a situation where Hulk Hogan, this dude that like my first wrestling match I ever remember is my dad playing the Hulkamaniac tapes that they used to come out, and it was Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. That is the first match I remember, right? I would love to write about that, right? Yeah. I want to write about these things, but you can't, and he only has himself to blame.
Do you remember, is there another scenario like this that you could remember where it's someone who, I'm saying for you, or because, you could point to people who we thought were good people and they ended up not being good people. Right. But like for you, where someone who you loved as a child is like, man, this guy is kind of a piece of shit.
Well, I mean, Bill Cosby comes to mind, R. Kelly comes to mind. But Bill Cosby, I think, is sort of the parallel here, because it's a dude who you loved in the 80s, who you want to love the Cosby Show. Like I realized, Malcolm Jamal Warner passed earlier this week, and my son is 12, and I realized I had never shown him the Cosby Show. Right.
Oh, wow.
And first of all, it's hardly impossible to find now. And also you don't want to, I mean, I haven't watched it in his lifetime, and as much as we would want to love Bill Cosby, when he dies, you're not going to be hear me talk about his legacy being complicated. His legacy ain't complicated. This dude is a multiple time rapist who, again, like Hulk Hogan, never did anything or tried to do anything. He just tried to get away with it, right? And even when people were talking to, interviewing him after Malcolm Jamal, I don't care what Bill Cosby has to say, And I know that there's like people on the internet who are saying that I'm just doing this because Hulk Hogan's a white dude and all this stuff. When Bill Cosby dies, I guarantee you there will not be any sort of loving eulogy or complicated legacy or talking about him in any remotely positive way when he goes. I think that's probably somebody who is comparable to the Hogan aspect, even though what Bill Cosby did was markedly worse than what Hogan did in the grand scheme of things, of using words and then actually harming these women. But there's still this parallel with the fact that they did bad things and have not done anything remotely positive, beyond that or after that.
I mean, look, there's not a lot of nuance out there when it comes to this kind of stuff, like, because I've gotten a little bit of it as well, where it's like, how could you talk about Hogan and how much he meant to you and all that shit? It's like, well, first of all, like, I'm clearly presenting both sides because I don't believe it's complicated to talk about either side. But even just as a local example here, like, you remember, what was it? I think it was 4 years ago, Myers Leonard, back then of the Miami Heat, on a stream, a video game stream, called one of the other players a kike, which, by the way, I don't think he actually knew what the word meant, but that's not for me to decide. And as a Jewish person, it's like, whoa, what are we doing there? Yeah. And he became more Jewish than me over the next year. I mean, the time he was spending in synagogues and speaking with rabbis and going to Shabbat dinners and it's like, as a Jewish person, of course I'm going to forgive him. Because if we're not going to forgive people for trying to become better, what's the point of them even trying to become better than if they're still going to be unforgiven?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Kobe Bryant conversation is the one that like everybody falls into this landmine about Kobe, right? Where there's been comparisons with the Hulk Hogan stuff. I mean, the Kobe Bryant thing, if you look at Kobe Bryant in the year since Colorado, that is a guy who looked to be trying to right a wrong from that time, right? The support of the WNBA, the quote unquote girl dad thing, all that stuff. Now, with that said, every time that I've written about Kobe, wrote about no fewer than 4 articles about Kobe Bryant. Every time I've written about Kobe Bryant, I've said, if you feel like those things are not enough to make you overlook what happened in Colorado, I will never, ever blame you for it, But he lived a life of somebody who felt like he did something wrong and tried to make it right. And wherever you fall on that is, I can't ever say that you're wrong. I can never say that you're wrong for saying, I will never look at Kobe Bryant the same. I don't care about his legacy. That's just not something that I feel like I could judge you for, right? But you can put the word complicated on somebody like that, because what makes it complicated is the attempt, the 2 decades of attempting to right a wrong, right? And whether he did or not, that's not for me totally to judge. That's for everybody's own barometer and what they feel. What makes Hulk Hogan different is that he did nothing to complicate that legacy. And I think that's the difference.
Great job, David. Tell everybody how they can read you, see you, all that good stuff.
Andscape, you catch me on also ESPN Radio. Me and Zaz are going to be hanging around tomorrow. Via discretion with me and Kimes. Catch me on the TV shows and all that stuff. Just catch me around.
Thanks, David. Appreciate you hanging out with us today.
All right. Thanks a lot, man.